Hello friends, so this is lecture 8 of LIC AAO 2019 Insurance and Financial Awareness series by Exambay. And in the previous 7 lectures we have covered almost everything relevant to insurance awareness. Okay, so insurance part we have covered, and if you're going to get your question from that part, most of the questions you will get from that part. Okay, and if some of the topics are left, if I come across some important topics or some latest developments in insurance sector, I will cover in the upcoming videos. So from this video we are going to start our financial awareness, and in financial awareness first we will cover some very important topics of Indian economy. Okay, see friends, you are going to get some questions from Indian economy part also. Okay, so we will cover topics like national income of India, like GDP, GNP, etc. Then we will cover monetary policy, fiscal policy, and then banking part, okay, industry part, security markets. So we are going to cover these topics, some important topics, in the next 5-6 videos. Okay, and then in the rest of the videos, some 2-3 videos, we will cover other topics and also important MCQs. Okay, so your insurance and financial awareness as well as general awareness, which is going to be there in phase 1. Everything will be covered. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's start. What is national income of India? Now, resources of a country such as labor. Labor means manpower. Manpower means the people of the country, population of the country. Okay, like I am a labor. Okay, I form a part of labor in India. If I do a job, if I do a business, okay, I am manpower, resource, manpower. Then capital means money. The natural resources means we have water, we have mineral resources. Okay, there are various natural resources. We have forests, we have fisheries. Okay, so when all of this combine to produce finished goods and services, we produce finished goods and services like we produce iron. From iron ore, natural resources needed, manpower is needed, industry is needed, money is needed. So all the resources are needed, and we produce iron. We produce pharmaceuticals, and we export so many pharmaceutical like medicines, etc. We produce IT softwares, which needs manpower, which needs capital. Okay, so these are the products, goods and services which we produce and which are measured in terms of national income, which forms a part of national income. This is it. Okay, so this is just for understanding. Now national income, GDP, GNP, NDP and NNP. Okay, we are going to discuss these 4 in this video. So GDP is very important, most important of all the 4 terms. Okay, and you just need to make your notes from these slides. That's it. Revise 2-3 times. That's it. Your GDP, your national income will be covered. So GDP is a monetary value of all the finished goods and services. We are talking about finished goods and services, both goods and services. Okay, like IT software, like we have companies like TCS, Infosys, etc. So we are giving various services to foreign banks, foreign companies, produced within the country's borders. So this is the key phrase here, within a country's borders. Like India, we have what all borders we have within the country's border, within India's borders. Okay, anybody who is producing anything, if a foreign company has set its base in India, okay, so it will come under GDP because it is under India's border. It is in India's border. Okay, in a particular time period, which is normally a year. GDP includes all kinds of consumption, public as well as private. Okay, exports are added to GDP. This is an important point. Exports are added to GDP and imports are subtracted from GDP. Why? Because exports, what do we export? we export a product, a good or a service which we are producing in our country, in the boundary of our country. So that will be added. Imports which we are importing from, which we are taking from other countries. Okay, so that has to be subtracted. That's it. GDP is a measure of country's economic strength. Okay, so countries measure their annual growth in terms of percentage growth in GDP over previous years. So suppose this year the target or the expectations that GDP growth, you read in newspapers that the GDP growth is 7.5%. So the GDP growth is 7.5% expected, 7.5% over previous year, over 2018, right? Now in India, GDP is calculated on annual basis as well as on quarterly basis. Now GDP calculation includes 4 components. Private consumption, which we consume. Private consumption is consumed by the people. Expenditure done by the government. Obviously expenditure, government also does expenditure. Then investment, then foreign balance of trade, means exports minus imports. So if imports are more, then foreign balance of trade is negative. So in India's case, it is negative. Simple. Okay, because our imports are more. There are 3 methods to determine GDP. You just need to remember this. GDP based on expenditure. Okay, so what all expenditure we are incurring, a country is incurring in a year, we can calculate GDP according to that. GDP based on output and GDP based on income. Okay, so you need to remember this. Just make your notes and remember. Now, difference between nominal and real GDP. This is important. Nominal GDP is not adjusted to inflation. Simple. And real GDP is adjusted to inflation. So real GDP is always lesser than nominal GDP. Why? Because inflation is always on the positive side, right? Inflation is a general increase in price of goods and services. So inflation is a positive figure. So it decreases the value of money always. Now in India, GDP is calculated on 3 broadly classified sectors: agriculture and allied sectors, which is primary sector. So this is extra information. Agriculture and allied sectors. Allied sectors are fisheries, then forestry, then we have poultry, right? So all the sectors which use natural resources, these are primary sector. Industry sector is a secondary sector because it uses the products, or we can say the primary sector, the products of primary sector or the natural resources as a raw material. Then service sector is a tertiary sector, like we have BPO services, we have IT sector, we have telecom sector, which provides services. Trading. Okay, GDP is published by Central Statistical Office, MOSPI, sorry. So this is important. This point is important. Who publish GDP every year? Central Statistical Office, CSO, MOSPI, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. GDP is measured in rupee terms, but GDP growth is measured on year-on-year basis in terms of percentage growth over previous year's GDP, which we have already discussed. Okay, so if we say talk about India, India is presently approximately $3.2 trillion of GDP. India has in dollar terms. Okay, an important fact, I just added this: jobs in primary sector are called as red collar jobs. Okay, just remember this can come as a question. Jobs in primary sector, red collar jobs. Why? Because primary sector is agriculture and allied sectors, and color of soil is generally red, reddish, or related to red, so red collar jobs. Then jobs in secondary sector, blue collar jobs in industry, and jobs in tertiary sector, white collar jobs. We normally go with the formal dresses, white collar shirt. Now gross national product, GNP, is the total value of all finished final goods and services produced by country's residents domestically and in abroad. So gross national, we are all nationals of India. Okay, so I can earn some money in USA and send it to India, so it will be a part of Indian GDP, right? GNP, sorry, GNP. If I am working in Dubai, so many people are working in Dubai, they are sending money to India, so it is a part of Indian GNP. So produced by country's residents, domestically in India and in abroad. Countries citizens who have citizenship of India, Indian passport, simple. So GNP include income earned by Indian residents abroad. So just remember this, GNP doesn't include income earned by foreign nationals in a country. Obviously जब Indian nationals की बात हो रही है, so foreigners, the people, somebody belongs to USA but he has been posted in India, so his money will not be calculated. Okay, now GNP is GDP plus country's residents income abroad minus foreign nationals income earned in a country. This is what we have discussed. Okay, then we have net domestic product. Now these you just have to remember this equation. Net domestic product is GDP minus depreciation. So effects of depreciation have been taken. So if a question will come, it will be coming from this equation only. So annual measure of economic output adjusted to depreciation, simple. So net, wherever net comes here, it owes or it refers to depreciation. What is depreciation? Many assets and capital goods are depreciable in such as machinery. If you buy machinery today, after 10 years obviously its value will be depreciated. Okay, if you go to sell this machinery after 10 years, you will not get the same price in which you had bought. Okay, so depreciation will play its role. If you buy a car today for 5 lakh, after 10 years the value of car will be 50,000 only. So depreciation, right? So NDP is useful as it tells us about the pace at which capital goods degrade and must be replaced. NDP is always less than GDP because of depreciation. Net national product is GNP minus depreciation. That's it. Okay, so we have covered all these 4 terms, very important. One question at least you can expect. And now I'll discuss some very important MCQs. So these kind of MCQs can come. According to IMF, what will be India's GDP growth forecast in the financial year 2019-20? So this is current affairs economy question and the correct answer is 7.5%. Then we have read the following 2 statements. National income is the monetary value of all final goods and services produced in a country. Net value is obtained by deducting depreciation from the gross value. Which of the following is true? Both of the above are true. Okay. Then we have question 3. Which of the following is the base year for calculation of GDP in India? This is very important, guys. Very important. Just remember this is 2011 and 12 for GDP. Okay, GDP will be asked. What is the effect of positive GDP growth on inflation? Inflation obviously increases if a growth of country increases. If a country is growing, so it will affect the prices and prices will increase, right? Then which of the following options is not an approach to calculate GDP? We discussed 3 methods: expenditure, income, and production or outcome. Production is also called outcome. Now raw material, there is nothing called raw material approach to calculate GDP. Okay, GDP include the output produced by foreign corporations within the boundary of a country. This is the definition of GDP. This statement is true. Okay, so we have covered this topic. In the next videos we are going to cover more very important topics, guys. So please stay with us, please subscribe, like, and share the video. All the very best for your preparation. Thank you.